requests from departments. Some of the things we've gone out on a limb, and it's a crossing of the fingers that all the stars are going to align, and this will happen.
It's not yet.
Yes,
It's going to next week. Okay. Thank you.
You mind if I just float something? Is there any interest in having you request that we look into a lobbyist in this matter, or is that outside of?
If it would help, I get it.
There could be a substantial cost involved, so that's something that anybody wants us to pursue. And when I say pursue, I mean maybe get other districts involved, take a look at it, see if it makes any sense. But I don't want to also go out and spend assuming that this is only a portion of it, $10,000 on a lobbyist, and have you say, we spend $10,000. So I'm just asking you if you have any interest in us looking at that.
I would think that the Association of School Committees and the Rhode Island Superintendent's Association, they have lobbyists that are out there. And I think that's really what's going to carry the weight more than what's kind of higher than the lobbyists.
But they have different, so they represent all the districts, and like these districts that make money off of this, they're probably going to stay neutral, I would say. But I'm just asking, that's all.
Mr. Chair, we're doing something like for the ordinance consortium, have the superintendent check. I'm sorry.
I was just asking the chair if he meant maybe we ask the other school committees in the consortium if they'd be willing to maybe work on a strategy with us on how to engage with the state leadership. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense?
I think it makes a lot of sense, because within the state, I think the strong, what generally gets through is to have a good lobbyist up there.
Mr. Administrator, I know you've been up there quite a while. I have to give a short opinion.
Well, as much as I like to think that every voice matters, I think it's important that we recognize who we are. And if we can't convince the leadership of the Association of School Committees or the Superintendent's Association, I don't know how we'll convince the legislature. So, a separate lobbyist, I don't think so, but I think we have to do our part, and I'm willing to jump into that as much as anyone to try to make sure that the voice of a small community like North Smithfield is heard in that argument. Spending additional dollars to do it, I'm not sure that we can really get a return for it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to?
If I may, Chair Labonte, I think if we could explore it without committing to it, develop some type of dialogue with the superintendent, there may be a return on investment. We don't know. We don't know. But I know where the administrator's going. We don't have a very large voice on Smithfield.
Superintendent, just want to float that idea to the Northwest.
I have a meeting coming up with them shortly. So.
No commitment, just see what they say and
Yeah,
have a conversation.
and because I'm also on the legislative committee, information that I have, I can forward to you.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Instruction. So I posted up on our website a couple of updates. Just bring this up. To give you an idea of where we're at and what's happening. So last year we started on the stage 1 process for the Department of Education. And it was an intensive set of requirements and studies and review and meetings, and it led to, I think it was about a 1,200-page document, series of documents that we submitted to the Department of Education, which identified our need. And so it went through engineering studies and surveys, and it looked studies from an academic and programmatic standpoint, and it was pretty intensive. And we were approved through stage one, which now moves us on to stage two. Stage two is where we develop a solution. And so we had some initial plans, we had pricing, we had a proposal, we went through a number of hearings. We bundled all of this up along with engineering documents and submitted it to the Department of Ed for review. I think that document was about 1,600 pages. We have copies online if anybody would like to read them. It's fascinating. So we were approved. Now, what that means is that they identified a series of projects and other improvements under this warm, safe, dry category, for which we were eligible for reimbursement. And at the time, North Smithfield's reimbursement was a flat 35%. So we spend $1, we get 35 cents back on approved projects. Brian approved for us the things that were listed in the 2014 line. Decommissioning of Hallowell, which Rod won't pay for the decommissioning of Hallowell. That's on us. But they will pay for an addition at NSCS to house students from Hallowell. They will pay for an update to our science, our 50-year-old science labs, and they will reimburse for the locker rooms. So they've approved those. They've also identified, I think, about $6 million worth of electrical, plumbing, heating, ventilation, again, under that warm, safe, dry umbrella that they will reimburse. And the timing of all this was such that we were approved just as the state was promoting a $250 million school construction fund. So we fall under that umbrella. And what they've done is to try to sweeten the pot for districts to make these improvements on their buildings. Because unfortunately, facilities, it's a can that often gets kicked down the road. We hold on to roofs for a long time. We hold on to everything for a very long time until they physically crumble under our feet. And so what they put in were a number of incentives. So our projects are eligible for some of these incentives. The addition at NSCS falls under newer in fewer. Department of Ed would like newer schools, fewer schools. By decommissioning Hallowell and building onto NSCS, we qualify for another 5% of reimbursement, newer in fewer. The updates to our science labs, instead of the base 35%, we're good for 40% because science, technology, and engineering investments it's an incentive. Things that fall into the warm, safe, and dry. We've lost power today. We've lost power at NSCS and around the district. It will pay for upgrading our electrical systems. So, for example, today, we lost power at the high school, power gets restored, and it blows out an old water pump system. So we cannot pump water into the high school and middle school. Right? It's an old system, it needs to be updated. That falls under warm, safe, dry. So if we go to update this, or anything, we get some extra reimbursements. So with all that put in, and with the acceptance, we are now on stage 3. So they like our projects, they like our plans, and now we're in the design review stage. And there is a massive checklist of everything that we need to provide the Department of Ed, from technical schematics to city planning, board submissions, to project schedules, site engineering, code analysis, hazardous material testing, life cost cycle analysis, construction cost estimates, and we're in this process right now. We're further along at NSES because NSES is actually a very simple project. It's a box. You know, we can build a box very quickly, very easily. So, in going through all the surveys and the plans, we're further along with the NSES edition to the point where that we've had our final review with the Department of Ed a few weeks ago. A couple of things to line up, but essentially, we've been given the go-ahead to go off a bid and start construction. Which, by the way, then starts a whole other series of checklists as, you know, the documents, the pricing, and it's a very detailed process. So, the science labs are much more complex. For the science labs, we went through our initial review a couple of weeks ago. And we're anticipating in about a month or so to have, be able to go through the final schematic review in which our designs and plans and costs all check out and we're given to go ahead. So where we are right now is that we're anticipating being able to start construction for the NSES edition in about 3 to 4 weeks. If all goes according to plan. And so far, things have been running very, very, very smoothly. We're looking at our science labs to have our final review, get the go-ahead, and we can start going off the RFP for construction this spring and begin work this summer. The addition at NSES, we're looking to have done a couple of weeks before September begins. So we fully anticipate being out of NSES, having the kids over at, out of Hallowell, having the 4th grade at NSES and the 5th grade over here. At NSES, this is the design. All right, so it's behind the gymnasium right now. And there is a little access hallway with an exit. And then there are 4 rooms. These 4 rooms are designed so that acoustically, like for example, you hear that humming up there? You're not going to hear the humming in these classrooms. They're not going to distract the little ones from their learning. They have very good lighting controls. They can, the lighting can mimic natural daylight. It can be reduced. Again, very good lighting. It will have air conditioning because that's the other part of learning. You can't have the kids that are being too hot or too cold. So we have the proper heating, quiet, and ventilation quiet, along with air conditioning with these units. Plenty of natural light. There's a large open area in the middle. The rooms are sized according to RIDE regulations for classroom construction. They will have cubbies and storage, and we're building it so that on this side, which is facing a big hill with a pipe sticking out in the middle, goes in that direction now. It's actually spec'd. The land can handle more rooms going out. We did not put big windows on this side. It's designed Lego style. So if need be in the future we need to add some more classrooms, they're ready to snap on. All right, so we're designing this for the future. Right? This is the top-down view, and one of the things that we're very excited about, this is a bioretention garden. So all of the water that drains from this roof is going to feed this garden. And this garden will be for science. So it's going to tie into an outdoor classroom that we're going to have there. So it's a very clever way to handle runoff from the building by incorporating it into additional learning spaces. So the pricing that we have at this stage for this addition is in the $3.1 to $3.2 billion range. And that is with all the contingencies. That is worst case scenario. So we fully intend to have this classroom to come online on time and on, if not under budget. Originally, during our stage 2, the projection for this addition was, I think, a bit over the $4 million. But we've been able to drive the cost down by further refining the design. It's not skimping on materials. It's not, in fact, teachers are going to fight over who gets these rooms. And I don't envy Jen. Well, no, because they're going to be super nice to her because she would like, they think that she's going to assign the rooms to friends. So.
But can I ask a layperson question?
Yep.
With the retention pond being part of its science living classroom,
Right.
do you know the 5% for that? That's a fact. I mean, it's not
Look into it.
And yes, possibly. We're putting in everything to get everything that we can.
right.
So that's why this is a dedicated science space.
So does it qualify?
It could qualify. And there are other things that we will be coming to you in that we have an old HVAC. We have 2 HVAC systems in that building. We don't necessarily talk to each other that well.
No, but
There's been ongoing issues, with humidity, and one of the things that I did ask at the last meeting we had at Pride, would a new HVAC? One of the incentives is under health and safety. Question: with the moisture, with the fact that, in fact, the day we met at Pride was the day of that sudden ice cold freeze, and we lost heat in the building with a lot of damage, and we had closed schools. So yes, technically, a new HVAC system qualifies for health and safety. So if we were to add that to the project, and again, we're working out contingencies, and we'll come to whatever mechanism or review process to see if that would be allowable. And if it is, we could technically get 40% off the cost of updating some of this, some of the issues, maybe some of the outstanding issues we've had in the building. So again, we're working with Ryan, their process, and we're trying to maximize everything we're eligible to receive as a result. The science lab, and here's a rendering of what it would look like from the outside. So we're looking at keeping the same look of NSCS, the same architectural interest and detail. So it will be a good space, and we're looking forward to having this come online and have it finished. So the other project, and I'm sorry, I'm sort of rolling into the school bond, to the elementary school, to the high school projects. I'm sort of putting one into the other. This one was a tricky one because science labs are expensive. And we originally had a plan that our teachers liked, it looked good, it was feasible, but it was going to cost around $4 million. And we don't have $4 million allocated to this. So what we're looking at are 2 pots of money. So there's the $4 million bond, which was $4.3 million, but we kept 300,000 aside for the work needed to decommission Howard Line. 4 million to do the work that was spec in the bond, which was the addition at NSES, plus the bond also talked about science labs and the locker rooms. All right, so there's 4 million. There was no way we could do everything with $4 million. So that's when the school committee, put in $2 million of the school department fund balance. So we're keeping the work separate so that there is no overlap. Everything will be clearly divided, whether it's part of the bond project or part of the school department fund balance. The difference comes in the reimbursement. Anything that's on the $4 million bond reverts, any of the reimbursements we get from that, well, actually you get, go back to the town and will be applied towards the debt balance of the bond itself. For the projects that are done under the $2 million from the school department fund balance, that gets returned, and that money can then be reinvested in the other projects that we have lined up, the warm, safe, and dry, the locker rooms, or phase 2 of science labs, so they'll continuously be reinvested into the facilities. And again, subject to further reimbursements. So we just try to keep that rolling so that there's this constant revolving fund of, investment and reinvestments.
The difference in those two, just so everyone is clear, I understand it, just so everyone is clear. One is we're bonding, so we're financing part of that project. The other part of that project is ready cash. We're not borrowing the money. And right as a